Okay guys, welcome back to the continuation of refitting this cylinder head 200 TDI engine. So first thing I'm going to do is get my oil can, and get a bit of oil down of each one of those, so when I fit the push rods, the sliders are going to have like a bit of a suction grip. And then on top of the valve stems, and again, filling these up, you want to be careful not to be getting oil inside of any of these bores here, or when you tighten down, get the hydraulic load, cause fraction. Small drip on the outside there, so I might just blow that one out again. But first I'm going to fit the valve caps. Definitely recommend fitting new ones. The original ones on the Land Rover were not the best, and for the price you get replacements. There's a little bit of a off-cut one, so to speak, if you like, in that one. So we're just checking them all before fitting. Yeah, happy 10. So I'm going to have 2 left over. That one there, that one there. And then got all my push rods here. I've labelled them when I remove them. And what you want to do with these is check inside here for any pitting. You want to check to make sure it's straight. You can hold it up against a straight edge on 2 directions. Again, check the bottom here, make sure that looks good. This one's number 1 then, so I'm just going to carefully drop that in. And just with the oil being down on the slider, from the suction between that, you can make sure it's seated properly. So I'll repeat that for all of these, and down into there. Feel the slider, which is when I know it's in the right position. Dirt on that one, you know. Number 7, and finally number 8. And yeah, so that's the reason I put the oil in, is to get the suction, and you can feel the slider pulling up, and that's when you're going to know it's set in properly. Okay, welcome back. As you can see, I've already got the rock shaft in. Reason for that is that I noticed I was missing a dowel from this side when comparing to the service manual. So I was going to order a new dowel, and then when I checked the spare parts catalogue, there isn't actually a dowel there. So yeah, it's already in. These are just hand tight so far, and I'll pick up from there essentially. But what you want to make sure is that all your valves have play. If you've got one that's been screwed down or it's been caught on the side of a push rod, then when you torque it down, potentially you could bend the push rod or it's not going to sit properly. So check all these and then go for torquing. Manual says 28 to 32, going to go in the middle, 30 Newton meters. I'll start off with the middle bolt first. Click that off. I essentially work my way outwards, so onto this side. And then bigger size again. When you're putting the rock shaft in, you want to have the bolts in loosely, just to sort of help hold the rocker arms themselves in place. There you go, that's all 30, and then I'm just going to go through, double check, see if you've had any relaxation. No, that's fine. That's our rock shaft done, and then the next step is going to be to set our valve clearances. So 0.2 on inlets and exhaust, and to do this we need my feeler gauges. Okay, so I've got my feeler gauge 0.2. What you're going to do is place that in there, screwdriver on there. Tighten that down just so we got a little bit of force before I slide that through. And then the correct tool to tighten this up essentially would be a crow's foot spanner or a ring spanner on a torque wrench, so you could hold the top here and tighten. What I'm going to do is go for a open-ended spanner. Torque value on these 24 Newton meters. So hold that, I'm just going to tighten by hand first. Recheck that. So okay, you can try if you want. Test it. Get the one size bigger in. So 0.25. That won't go. 0.2. That does go. So we know we're right. And then finally just need to torque this up. So again, I'm going to leave this underneath 0.2. And then get my torque wrench. I've already tightened it down by hand, but I have to reset this first. Okay, 24. That's it, clicked off. And with that initial tightening, hopefully it's not moved. So 0.25 again. Can't fit. 0.2. That's just right. So what I'll do is I'll go through all these. Important to make sure you're on the base circle diameter of the crankshaft, camshaft. If you wanted to, you could open the side doors take a look, make sure, but you can just tell by the firing order. So we've got. Okay, so that's all the valve clearances set. I went through them twice. You can see I've marked off each one that I've done, just because it can get a bit confusing as to which ones you have set, which ones you haven't. They're all okay. So now I'm ready to set the half moon seals in the head here. So I'm just going to get this silicone. I've cleaned it out with a brake cleaner first. And just get a bead and extend it just past the groove. There's that one as well. And I'm just going to set these in. Get a bit of rag and we'll just clean up the excess silicone. Same on this side. Too much on this side. Just got a bigger job cleaning, but better to have too much than not enough. So that's set in there nicely. And then final job then is to fit the rocket cover. And like I said, if I was filling up the engine with oil at the moment, I'd keep this off, get all this well lubricated. But not quite ready for that yet, so I'm just going to set this on. I'm not going to bother tightening it too silly because it's going to come off again for when I do fill it with oil. But for now, yeah, that's it. There we are then, guys. That's the rocket shaft back in, rocket cover back on. I've already fitted new glow plugs. They're quite a simple operation, just screw in, torque them up. The reason I didn't fit the injectors earlier was just to keep or let the pressure escape as I was turning the engine over to do the valve clearances. Now we're ready to do that. So what I'm going to do is use some aluminium grease and get this with a brush nicely covered. It'll stop it from seizing in. If you haven't got aluminium, then copper grease will probably be okay as well. A little bit more. that's enough for this one. I've got new copper washer, slip that on, push it down, and then this banjo here is going to face the aft. Try not to drop the copper washer off like I've done. And that there's going to sit around about there. Next up, take this banjo out. Get the alignment up correctly on that. And then we're going to be ready to tighten that down. I can't remember what the torque's off the top of my head, but I'll just go put a bit of copper grease on this stud here and then get it torqued down. Okay, yeah, so the torque 20 to 25, we're going to go 22, wind it on by hand to start with, make sure we're not cross-threaded or anything, and then what you do is essentially cross this copper washer in the bottom. I'll help it seal. So that's that done. I'm just going to refit the banjo bolt, bit of a tape over it, keep any dirt out, and then when I'm ready I'll fit the spilled pipe later on. There we are, and then I'll get some 6mm masking tape just to go over that hole there. So yeah, going to go through, do the next 4, and then once they're done, I'll probably fit the cyclone filter, I think. I've still got the vacuum pump to go back on. I think I can get that on with the cyclone, so we'll go for that in that order.